What's up, people? Today's question is, people who earn a good salary with a low-stress job, what do you do? Story 1. I am a medical radiology technician. Honestly, I think my job is one of the least stressful out there. Compared to nurses and doctors, our days aren't as long, and our main responsibility is pretty simple, to obtain diagnostic images of patients, which can sometimes be done in just a few minutes. Once we've gotten the images we need, the patients are taken away by the medical staff, so we don't spend too much time with them. If I'm being honest, I find a certain relaxation in this job that increases as you develop your skills. Plus, there's always someone willing to help you. That said, I'm only talking about working with X-rays. Things get a little more stressful when dealing with CT scans or MRIs, since in those cases, you have to stick to a very strict schedule. Story 2. It turns out I'm an operator at a nuclear plant, and depending on how many overtime hours I work, I can earn up to €180,000 a year. But even if I decide not to work extra hours, I still earn about €140,000 a year, working between 32 and 48 hours a week. Although I have to admit that working shifts can be tough, the fact that it's a union job means we're treated pretty well. In a way, you could say it's a low-stress job, as long as you can pass the monthly exams that test your knowledge of how the plant operates. If you're a good student, it shouldn't be a problem, but if you're not up to speed with the rest of the crew, you might find it tough during both initial and ongoing training. So, in summary, if you can pass the training, you'll get to enjoy a low-stress work environment with a dream salary. Story 3. I'm a truck driver, and fortunately, I earn a lot of money. During my trips, I simply enjoy listening to music while watching the sunrise. My salary is about €80,000 a year, although I could make much more if I worked more hours. The worst part is that there are people who complain about our mere existence on the road, but I've learned to adopt the philosophy of let them. Despite my good experience, I don't usually recommend this job to others since it can be tough to find a well-paid position. I was very lucky when a daily delivery company hired me right when I got my trucking license. An interesting and misunderstood fact is that long-haul drivers tend to earn less than those doing daily deliveries. In short, it's an interesting life, but definitely not for everyone. Story 4. I work as a sailor on a trailer in New York, and I earn about $400 a day. When I get my next promotion, I'll become a countermaster, and my salary will go up to $600 a day. And if I become a captain, I'll earn up to $700 a day. Life on board is really an adventure. We travel up and down the East Coast for 2 weeks, after which we get 2 days off. Life on board is much more enjoyable than you'd imagine, since most of the time we eat for free and spend our time watching TV. I always bring my Xbox and spend a couple of hours a day playing, using my mobile data for Wi-Fi on the Xbox. It's literally like being relaxed for 2 weeks with friends. So, yeah, this is basically my life, 2 weeks sailing with my colleagues, playing on the console, and enjoying the tranquility of the sea. Then, I get 2 weeks off. And all this while earning a decent salary. Not bad, right? Story 5. Although it may not seem like it, my job is low stress and high paying for most people, especially for a 24-year-old single guy like me. I work in emergency medical services in rural Canada, with a 4-day work schedule followed by 4 days off. I live in a big city, but the town I work in is an hour and 40 minutes away. The drive, although it may seem long, isn't so bad since I only do it once every 4 days, when I have to work. When we're not on an emergency call, I'm free to do whatever I want. The company I work for provides a comfortable staff house, with TV, Wi-Fi, and even a decent gym. I spend my days mostly playing video games with my colleagues, with whom I also watch TV, cook, work out, nap, or just enjoy each other's company. We usually have 4 people per shift. If the phone rings, we have 8 minutes to respond, so I can spend my day in pajamas if I feel like it. Also, I can run errands in town as long as I'm no more than 8 minutes away from the station. Of course, calls can be tough, especially those related to agricultural accidents. But the really tough cases are rare, as most of the time, it's just about taking people who aren't feeling well to the hospital. I do enjoy the challenging calls, though, as they push me to make quick decisions and put my skills to the test. During those 96 hours, we typically get 5 or 6 calls, but there have been times when we didn't get any after 4 days of work. My salary is about €70,000 a year, with great benefits, and there are also plenty of opportunities to work overtime, which is paid double. Story 6. I work as a graphic designer for a large retail company. Although we always have a lot of movement and tasks to handle, the interesting part is that we don't have to deal with the stress that comes with working in an agency, where you're constantly trying to satisfy multiple clients' demands. Not to mention the pressure of having to secure enough projects when working independently. This is the appeal of my job, constant activity but without the overwhelming pressure often associated with this industry. Don't get me wrong, I value a little adrenaline from time to time, but I sincerely prefer the tranquility of knowing my daily efforts are aimed at one single goal. And believe me, there's enough creativity and challenge here that I don't miss the madness of an agency or the uncertainty of being a freelancer. Story 7. I work in a medical consultancy, performing ultrasounds to examine hearts and vascular systems, and they pay me about $35 an hour. It's a pretty calm environment, and if you manage your time well, you can finish the whole day in just a couple of hours, which leaves you with free time. Between work and study, I invest time in the stock market and always learn something new, which helps me keep my free time full of interesting activities. Story 8. It turns out I'm an English teacher in China, and my life is pretty relaxed. They pay me about $2,700 a month, working around 12 hours a week. Considering that almost all of my living expenses are covered, it's not bad at all. They even cover a return flight for me once a year, and although I have 3 months off, I still get paid for 11 months a year. While I know I'm not going to get rich, the amount I manage to save is surprising, especially since the cost of living is so low. I save about $2,300 a month. Plus, I have a lot of time left for my hobbies, and when I'm at the school, I feel pretty relaxed. My classes are pretty basic, which allows me to keep a calm attitude. So, while I'm not a millionaire, I think I live quite well. I enjoy my fans every day and save more than I would spend in my home country. And all of this is just from teaching English to Chinese students. Not even in my wildest dreams, I would have imagined this. It's amazing. Story 9. I work in quality control for electrical and mechanical projects, and in reality, it's simpler than it sounds. My job is to carefully analyze the original proposal along with the specifications at 100% and make sure the subcontractors don't cut corners. I always try to keep the client satisfied by showing them that my goal is to provide exactly what they've paid for. Of course, there are times when things get quite stressful, but most of the time, 90%, I'd say, it's a pretty relaxed job with minimal stress. Story 10. Let me tell you a bit about what I do. People send me the plans for their homes, and I place images of speakers and TVs, indicating where each element should be installed. Yes, I literally help people improve their home cinemas. I also provide them with phone holders and help solve any issues they might have with their systems. What I love most about this is that it's the easiest way I've found to make money, and the truth is, it works pretty well financially. Story 11. I work as a personal assistant for a high-level real estate agent. The first few months were pretty stressful as I tried to understand how everything worked, but now that I've almost figured everything out, I'm able to stay ahead of things. I spend a large part of my day chatting with others in the office, enjoying coffee, and browsing Reddit. I've never liked working, it's something I've always hated, and at 27, it seems like I hate it even more. So, finding a job where I can stand out with minimal effort, earn a decent salary, and deal with low stress feels like a dream. I start early and don't take any breaks until lunch, so I always get home with plenty of time to relax or hit the gym. Story 12. To give you an idea, having a job with low stress doesn't mean it requires little effort. I spend part of my day editing, recording, producing, and editing between 7 and 12 unique videos, in addition to all the associated elements like start screens and media links. After publishing the videos on several websites, I prepare and send more than a dozen information sheets. Once I finish that, I handle the maintenance on the back end of some of those websites. If I have time, I also take care of community management. Luckily, I have about 15 minutes to grab a bite and return to the studio. When I get back, I focus on editing the stories that our writers have put together. After that, I turn my attention to special projects, which often involve a lot of creation or adjustments, along with a final review of the documentation related to tasks completed during the day. If needed, I update it. The work is tough, yes, but I'm happy to have creative control and enjoy seeing the final result of what I do. Above all, I never get bored, because, for me, there's nothing more stressful than boredom. I think it's lucky to work on something that gives me satisfaction, so I'm really grateful for it. Story 13. I'm the main accountant at a small family-owned company in the oil and gas industry. Unlike the large corporations that have struggled a lot in recent years, ours continues to maintain a great habit of profits. Despite the intense and fast-paced work environment, I've advanced quickly in my career here. I started knowing nothing about this industry, and in just a few years, I think I've become one of the 3 most experienced accountant. Every day offers me the chance to learn something new and develop my skills. It's not just the role I play that reduces stress, but also the work environment. Everyone enjoys their work, and the company constantly emphasizes that we, the employees, are its biggest asset, which motivates us a lot. The team, both those above and below me in the hierarchy, is made up of highly talented and educated people, and it's a real pleasure to work with them. Occasionally, I need to work some weekends from home, but it's so manageable that I don't mind at all. Most of the time, my schedule is from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and once I'm done, I can completely disconnect. The company also offers a lot of flexibility. I can work from home or leave early, and there's always the trust that we're all doing our best. It could be said that I found the job of my dreams after 3 years of horrible work experiences, both inside and outside my field of study, since I graduated from college. Story 14. I have a friend who works in marketing with a monthly salary of €45,000. His job is to create ads for newspapers, television, and the internet, where he recruits people willing to try new products. After launching the ad, he just waits for them to contact him. Once the responses start coming in, his job is limited to qualifying the candidates. Once that stage is done, his work ends, and the rest of the process is handled by another team. He always boasts to my face about how much free time he has because, unlike me, he has plenty of it. Meanwhile, I feel like I'm just missing the whip and a portion of rice to complete the full slave pack, so I get quite envious. Story 15. I'm currently working as a data analyst, earning more than $75,000 a year with great benefits and a Monday to Friday schedule, all from the comfort of my home. I have to admit, this has been a huge relief. Not only have I stopped dealing with traffic or office rivalries, but I've also stopped following a dress code out of obligation. And the best part is that to do what I do, I don't need a university degree or specialized training, just a sharp eye for recognizing patterns and a natural fascination with data and information in general. My professional career started 13 years ago in a telemarketing job for a credit card company. I worked nights and weekends, earning just $9 an hour. My motivation for taking that first job was simply the need for medical insurance. Since then, each year I've sought out opportunities that presented a small challenge and allowed me to move forward professionally. Slowly but surely, I acquired a variety of skills in different jobs until I reached where I am now. I must admit, I'm currently studying to attend university, but not because I need it for my job. I'm doing it because the company I work for covers all the registration expenses, which is a golden opportunity. Story 16. I'm a geologist specialized in oil, and right after graduating from university, I landed a 40-hour-a-week job with a 6-figure salary. While it might seem stressful given the enormous amounts of money riding on my analysis, the reality is a bit different. Most of us geologists are genuinely in love with our work, and we don't feel much stress. Everything flows naturally, almost as if I'm just chatting with a friend, sharing my passion and experiences in the field of oil geology, all while maintaining a great enviable work-life balance. Well, that's all for today's stories. As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future uploads. That's all for today. See you in the next video.